Have you ever noticed a repeating number? Heard a song at just the right moment? Or run into someone you hadn't thought of in years, just when a part of you needed it most? And for a second, it didn't feel random. It felt like a message. In this video, we're exploring a quiet truth that hides beneath the surface of ordinary life. That nothing, not the people you meet, the timing of events, not even the obstacles you face, is random. Everything is a sign. The question is, are you listening? What if everything around you is trying to tell you something? Not in loud declarations or flashing lights, but in the silent language of symbols, patterns, feelings, whispers in dreams. A raven landing on your windowsill, a clock flashing 11:11, a song lyric that echoes exactly what you couldn't put into words, a stranger's casual comment that lingers in your mind for days. We often dismiss these things as coincidence, but ancient cultures didn't. To them, reality was a mirror, reflecting the inner world through the outer one. They saw signs in the flight of birds, omens in the direction of the wind, messages written in stars and rivers and fire. To the old mystics and sages, nothing was meaningless. Nothing was random. They didn't just observe nature, they conversed with it, because they understood something we've forgotten, that the world is not a machine. It's a metaphor, and every metaphor points to something deeper. Reality isn't literal, it's layered, dreamlike. The poet Rumi once wrote, "Don't look at your form, look at the essence." That essence, what lives behind appearances, is how the universe speaks. Let's say you're stuck in a job that drains you. You've been thinking about quitting, but fear keeps you frozen. Then, one day, your eyes catch the clock, 11:11. Later that evening, you randomly overhear a phrase from a movie. Leap, and the net will appear. That night, you dream of flying, then falling, then flying again. And somehow, you wake up with a strange calm in your chest. Was it just your imagination? Or was it something else? A language your soul already understands. The universe speaks, not in words, but in resonance. And if we slow down, if we pay attention, we begin to notice. Life isn't just happening, it's whispering. We use the word coincidence when something surprises us, but doesn't fit into the logic we've been taught. Carl Jung called these moments synchronicity, events that connect not through cause and effect, but through meaning. He said, "Synchronicity is an ever-present reality for those who have eyes to see." You think of a friend you haven't spoken to in years, and they call you 5 minutes later. No logical link, but something stirs deep inside. That moment carries weight, emotion, timing. It doesn't just happen, it means something. That's the difference. Coincidences feel hollow, like statistical flukes. Signs feel alive. They hit differently, like a bell being struck in the center of your being. You know without knowing how you know. But most of us have been trained to ignore this. We live in a culture that prizes logic over feeling, certainty over mystery. We've been taught that the world is random, senseless, indifferent, that noticing patterns is superstition or delusion. But ask yourself, has dismissing signs made you feel more awake, more connected, or just more numb? Because here's the thing. When you stop brushing off these moments, they begin to multiply. Not because more signs appear, but because you begin to see. Reality doesn't change. Your awareness does. And when awareness shifts, the world begins to shimmer. The source of these signs isn't just out there, it's also within. There's a part of you that exists beyond fear, beyond doubt, beyond the noise of your everyday thoughts. Some call it the soul, others call it the higher self. Whatever name you give it, it is the part of you that remembers why you're here. It speaks, not in commands or blueprints, but in symbols and feelings. It nudges, it stirs, it opens doors at the exact moment you're ready to walk through them, even if you don't realize you are. Sometimes this guidance is subtle, a strange urge to turn left instead of right, a chill down your spine when someone says something profound, a passage in a book that feels written just for you. Other times, it arrives in full force, especially during upheaval, breakups, grief, illness, relocation. These moments crack the shell of the ego, and in that opening, something deeper can reach you. These are not interruptions, they're invitations. Your subconscious also plays a sacred role. It filters your perception, tuning you in to what matches your inner vibration. It draws your gaze to the number on the clock, highlights a phrase on a billboard, delivers a dream that makes your chest ache with meaning. It helps you recognize what your higher self is trying to say. And in moments of alignment, you may notice you're being guided, even protected. You look back and realize the job you didn't get led you to the one that fit your soul. The relationship that ended cleared the space for something real. The delay, the detour, the disappointment, they were all part of a pattern, a path. Like breadcrumbs scattered by a wiser version of you, so you wouldn't lose your way. You are not alone in the dark. You've been guiding yourself home the entire time. It's not about looking harder. It's about being more present. You can't chase a sign, any more than you can force a sunrise. They appear when you slow down, when your mind quiets, just enough for the whisper beneath the noise to be heard. Some of the clearest signs arrive during moments of stillness, while walking alone, staring out the window, journaling your confusion, or simply sitting in the hollow space between endings and beginnings. These are the cracks in time where your awareness softens and something ancient flows in. It could be the way your heart races unexpectedly during a conversation, a sudden wave of emotion at a certain phrase, a recurring image in your dreams. These are not accidents. They are echoes, and they ask only one thing: notice me. Repetition is the universe's highlighter. If something keeps showing up, a symbol, a phrase, a song, even a person, pay attention. You're being shown a pattern, and patterns speak louder than facts. You don't need a system or technique to decipher signs. You need intimacy with your own intuition. That quiet sense that says, "This matters." That stirring that pulls you into reflection without knowing why. When a moment gives you goosebumps, chills, or tears, pause. Let yourself feel what it's pointing to, not just think about what it might mean. Interpretation is not a science. It's a conversation with the soul. Yes, some people keep journals, not to track signs like clues in a puzzle, but to let patterns emerge naturally. Writing down strange synchronicities, dream symbols, or repeated phrases often reveals meaning over time, like watching pieces of a mosaic come together. And there's nothing wrong with asking. You can speak to the universe, to your soul, or whatever name you give to that great unseen force. Ask, "Show me what I need to know." But don't expect a billboard. Expect a whisper, a gentle pull, a pattern unfolding, a mirror held up. If you fear misinterpreting a sign, that's okay. Doubt is part of the journey. Sometimes we misread. Sometimes we don't understand until later. But the act of trying to listen is itself a form of devotion. Not every moment is a message, but many more are than we dare admit. And the more you trust your inner compass, the more fluent you become in the language of the invisible. When you begin to live this way, to walk through life as if everything is meaningful, nothing accidental, you shift from being a bystander to being a participant in a sacred dialogue. Believing in signs doesn't make you irrational. It makes you attuned. You become less reactive and more reflective. Life doesn't just happen to you anymore. It happens with you. You stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and begin asking, "What is this showing me?" Every obstacle becomes a teacher. Every delay becomes a direction. Every person becomes a mirror, reflecting parts of you back to yourself, both the light and the shadow. You begin to see your life not as a mess of random events, but as a sacred text, written in a language of metaphor and timing, waiting to be read with the eyes of the soul. This shift brings something rare in modern life: trust. Trust in timing, trust in pain, trust in your own perception. You begin to believe that even when the road makes no sense, it's leading somewhere true. And in that trust, something beautiful happens. You become less afraid. Less afraid of change because you see the signs that come before the breakthrough. Less afraid of endings because you know the universe speaks clearest in silence. Less afraid of uncertainty because you've begun to feel the invisible thread that ties everything together, even when you can't see where it leads. This doesn't mean life becomes easy, but it becomes enchanted. Not in the fairy tale sense, but in the sense that every moment becomes alive. Every breath, every glance, every crossing of paths becomes rich with possibility. You are no longer drifting. You are dancing with something far greater than your mind can grasp and your heart has always known. As the mystic poet Hafiz once said, "This place where you are right now, God circled on a map for you." And if that's true, then maybe the rain means something, the silence means something, the person beside you on the train, the line in the book you just opened, the thing you felt but couldn't explain, maybe they all mean something too. Maybe nothing is random. Maybe everything is speaking. You are not a passive observer in life. You are a participant in a living, symbolic dialogue, where every moment is a message, every encounter a mirror, and every obstacle a lesson. Everything is a sign, and nothing is a coincidence, not because life is scripted, but because it's intelligent, conscious, poetic. So take a moment today to tune in. Notice what life is whispering to you, that flicker of emotion, that thing you keep hearing, that dream you can't shake. Maybe that's the next breadcrumb. If this video resonated with you, give it a like, subscribe to Codex Aeternum, and turn on the bell so you don't miss the next insight hiding in plain sight. Because here, We don't just see the world, we listen to it. Thank you for watching.